The price of silence. I had always prided myself on being a good husband. For 10 years, I stood by Anya. I helped her with everything I could, tried to be supportive, even when it felt like she was slipping away from me. But over time, I became invisible to her. It wasn't like I could pinpoint a single moment where things changed. It wasn't a massive fight or betrayal. It was a slow, creeping distance that began with small things. She started spending more time on her phone. Texts, emails, social media. I wasn't jealous at first. I told myself it was just work or that she was reconnecting with old friends. But over time, she started coming home late. She'd walk in, barely acknowledging me. Dinner was just a formality, a cold routine. She'd eat, sometimes even as she worked on her phone, while I sat across the table, wondering when the woman I married disappeared. I tried talking to her. I asked her if something was wrong. "I'm just tired," she'd always reply. And I'd believe it for a while. But the tiredness didn't go away. She didn't seem happy anymore. She didn't seem to care. I did everything I could to fix it. I brought flowers home for no reason, planned dinners, took her out on weekend getaways, trying to reignite the spark that once burned between us. But she never responded the way she used to. No matter what I did, it wasn't enough. I started feeling like I was losing her, and it hurt in a way I couldn't explain. Every night, I lay next to her in bed, listening to her soft breathing, wondering when I stopped being the man she loved. That's when I met Mira. I hadn't expected to connect with her. We worked in the same office building, but she was in a different department. We'd pass each other in the hallways, exchanging polite smiles. It was just a passing acquaintance until that day. She had noticed I looked tired, too, and asked if I was okay. For some reason, the question hit me harder than it should have. No one had asked me that in so long. I remember I laughed awkwardly, brushing it off, but she insisted I grab a coffee with her. I didn't want to, but somehow I did. We sat in the lobby, sipping our drinks, talking about life, work, and everything in between. She listened, really listened. When I started talking about my marriage, about how alone I felt, she didn't interrupt. She didn't try to fix anything. She just acknowledged my pain. She didn't judge. She just let me speak. In that moment, I realized how starved I was for someone to hear me. I had spent so much time ignoring my own feelings, pushing them down for the sake of keeping the peace. But with Mira, I felt seen. I felt heard. And that made me feel something I hadn't in a long time wanted. The conversations with Mira continued. We'd meet for lunch, exchange stories about our days, laugh, and talk about things I hadn't shared with anyone in years. She was easy to talk to, and every time we spoke, I felt a little more alive. Every time I was with her, I forgot how lonely I was at home. But I never meant for it to go beyond that. I didn't want to cheat. I didn't want to betray Anya. But with Mira, it felt like I was someone else, someone who wasn't invisible. Then one night, after we worked late to finish a project, we found ourselves alone in the parking lot. The air was cool, the sky dark, and for the first time in a long time, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Alive. She looked at me, and for a moment, it felt like the world had stopped. "You don't have to pretend with me," she said. "You deserve someone who sees you, someone who values you." Before I could say anything, she kissed me, and I kissed her back. The next morning, I woke up with a weight in my chest. Couldn't breathe. I had betrayed everything I believed in. I'd betrayed my wife, my vows, and everything I stood for. But at the same time, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was the first time in months I felt like myself again. I avoided Mira for a few days. I couldn't face her. I couldn't face the reality of what had happened. But the guilt gnawed at me, and the shame weighed me down. I knew I couldn't go back to my old life, not with Anya. Not after everything I had felt with Mira. Anya didn't say anything at first. She didn't seem to notice anything was wrong. She still came home late, still spent hours on her phone, and still barely acknowledged me. But I saw the change in her eyes. I saw the way she looked at me, as though something had shifted between us. One night, she reached out to touch my arm. It was the first time she had touched me in months, and I froze, felt strange. Almost like I didn't know her anymore. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. I wanted to tell her everything. I wanted to scream that I was anything but okay, that I was suffocating under the weight of my own loneliness. But instead, I just nodded. Yeah, just tired. But the truth was, I wasn't tired. I was broken, and I had no idea how to put the pieces back together. The guilt began to consume me. I couldn't stop thinking about Mira. She wasn't the woman I was in love with, but with her, I felt something real. Something that had been missing for so long. She was the escape I didn't know I needed. But I also knew that nothing, not even the brief moments of happiness I had with her, would ever fill the hole I had created by cheating. Anya didn't deserve this. She didn't deserve me. Days passed in a blur. I went through the motions of life, pretending everything was fine, when inside, I was dying. And then one night, after dinner, Anya asked me again, "Are you sure you're okay?" Couldn't lie anymore. "No," I said, my voice breaking. "I'm not." She looked at me, searching my face for the truth. "What's wrong?" I took a deep breath. This was it. I had to tell her. But when I looked at her, I saw the pain in her eyes, and something inside me stopped me. I don't know where we went wrong," I said, my voice low. "I feel like I've been invisible to you." Anya's face softened. "I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I'm sorry." That was all she said. And for the first time in ages, I thought maybe we could fix this. But deep down, I knew it was too late. We were too far gone. The guilt ate at me. I couldn't look at her without seeing Mira in my mind. The touch of her hand, the way she made me feel like I mattered. But I had hurt the one person who mattered most to me. I had betrayed Anya. I couldn't take it back. Days turned into weeks, and the tension between Anya and me grew. We both tried, in our own ways, to make things better. We went to therapy, we talked, but it never felt the same. There was a distance between us that I couldn't bridge, and Anya seemed to withdraw even more. One night, after a particularly difficult therapy session, Anya sat me down. "I don't think we can keep doing this," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I feel like I'm losing you." I felt like I was losing myself, too. "I'm sorry," I said. "I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if we can fix this." She looked at me, tears filling her eyes. "I wish you had told me sooner." I wanted to tell her everything. I wanted to confess about Mira, about the affair, about how I had destroyed everything for a fleeting moment of attention. But I couldn't. The truth would shatter her. And maybe, deep down, I was too afraid to face it.